No, Mary's in my corner, at least on one story.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mary.
on the Jussie Smollett story, which we're going to start with, Mary is definitely in my corner, but then a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, Jussie Smollett presented himself to a healthcare center and said he was just attacked. He was still with a noose on his neck when he got into the healthcare center and said he was just attacked by 2 homophobic people who they hurled racial expletives at him. You know, they made all of that, and then he was treated and released, and then he made a statement to the police and media and all of that. So an investigation started. Chicago Police Department started an investigation, and there was a lot of support for Jussie Smollett.
When you say support,
you know,
a lot of people came out to speak against such an attack, which is what should have happened, right?
There was support from his colleagues. There was love for him.
Not just his colleagues.
There was a hashtag Justice for Jussie, which was trending. Now, let's listen to this particular interview which he gave the press immediately after he was released from the medical facility.
Pissed off.
What is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
What happened that night, Jussie?
When I landed in Chicago, and Frank Gatson, who's like my uncle, and he's also my creative director, and he picked me up. And then we got back to the apartment. There was no food. And so I went out to Walgreens thinking that they were 24 hours and to have a smoke. Walgreens was closed. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm gonna run to Subway, which was across the street, and I'm gonna get a salad. Do you want anything? I went to the Subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia because he was on an Australian tour with one of his other.
Right now, so details have now emerged from the Chicago Police Department that he actually staged this attack on himself.
Okay, so it is claimed that he staged.
Madam, it's not claimed.
It is claimed. It is claimed. All right, Mary, what were you going to say?
You take a look at that video that we just watched, and you see an actor. Let's remember that first and foremost, Jussie is an actor. That's one. 2, there's talk about we'll wait until, you know, innocent until proven guilty. However, we are not manufacturing these reports that are coming out. They're actually official police reports.
Exactly. See, that's the point. Official.
The 2 Nigerian guys, that was what caught the interest of many Nigerians. The fact that Nigerians were involved. And you know, when Nigerians are involved in issues, it's always made to seem like, they've
Ola
come again.
and Bimbo,
yes,
2
Ola
brothers.
and Bimbo, 2 brothers.
Okay, so now you have...
just a minute. So these guys, they've been accused. And so they had to spill the beans. According to the police, they went, he asked us to do this.
Exactly.
Yes, that's what the report say. He asked
there's an
them.
official...
So why would they do that? Why would they come out and say he asked? They were paid by who?
By Jussie.
They were paid by Jussie.
Who paid them to come out and say it?
Nobody paid, they were arrested.
The same way someone could pay them
this is fact.
to say that.
Let's give us the timeline.
There's something of fact now. The point is that immediately after he was arrested, police went into camera viewings and they checked camera viewings of that area. And those 2 men were caught on camera coming out of the same place. Now, they put up these pictures and Jussie stated that these were the people.
If he hadn't
stated that these were the people that attacked him. And these people traveled to Nigeria immediately after.
Okay.
So they got to Nigeria, they're now traveling back to the US and then catch them for airport.
Look, first of all, as sad as it sounds, there is a lot about Nigeria. Once you hear the word Nigerian, in America, once you hear the word Nigerian,
we have to cut you now. We have to cut you now. It's not important to cut you now. We have to go on a break.
Let's go on this break.
Yes,
but really, you guys have stated your case.
And we'll still talk about this.
No, Allah.
Back is one of the best breaks ever. Big shout out to everybody behind and in front of the scene. Yomi is now here with us, and of course, just before Yomi gives his take on this issue, Titi of course has something very interesting. It's her view. Let's listen to her, Titi.
Wow, Mike, the way you said that was so sarcastic.
Your view,
but it's fine.
No.
It's
this
fine.
Is your view. So
my opinion is the same way they could have been paid by Jussie, right, to beat him up or act like they beat him up. It's the same way they could have been paid to say and report it. So I'm just saying, these same guys who probably are in the same gym, he's probably had some relations with them. He's probably shunned them before. They're probably angry at him, and they're trying to get back at him for one reason or the other. It's possible. You don't know what the whole story is. Okay. The truth is, the black violence, black on black violence, and black on white violence is really, really on the high in America. The truth is, anybody right now that complains that they were beat up or attacked by someone claiming it's MAGA country, right now it's going to be as if they're crying wolf. Nobody's going to listen to them. So to me, I would rather side with the person who was the victim, right, than side with someone who claims.
Okay, so
do you understand my point?
Let's feel you. Let's feel you.
That's a good point. But I think with the evidence, the police evidence, and the fact that there was video evidence as well of what happened, where they bought the rope, it just looks very staged.
Okay.
So the fact that it looks very staged means that it is very likely that what the police are saying is true, even though it will still need to be proven.
Yeah.
It will go
beyond
to
reasonable
Yes,
doubt.
of course.
Beyond reasonable doubt,
Yeah,
exactly.
so I think
the
that's
point now,
where
we are.
like some facts
Okay.
also, like you just mentioned now, the store also has video of the men coming to buy a rope.
Yeah,
Exactly. So
but they were going to buy a rope anyway. How do you know Jussie sent them to go and buy a rope?
There are two things here.
Why was it Jussie that sent them to buy the rope? Can't they just go and buy a rope?
Okay, we have to go on. We have to go on.
And two, just let me, the second problem is the fact that these guys were following one another. Let's remember that. On Instagram.
So they were friends.
Jussie follows them. So they're more or less like friends, because she was talking about the fact that, oh, it might be because he shuns them.
He shunned them.
Yeah, Mary, let's move on. Let's move on. You know what's going to happen?
Innocent until proven guilty.
We're going to continue with this, but there are official reports. The police have stated that they believe that he framed himself.
I beg you.
All right, moving on from that. Like Davido! Man, I love you, no homo. You're my guy. You're my guy. No, my respect for this young man has moved up, has scaled up very much. Reason. Now, something happened. Davido went on a rant on his story. You know, this was after a lawyer had called him out for his political stance. You understand? And Davido has always said something. Look, my uncle is my family, is my blood. He's my blood uncle. I support him. He said, I don't play partisan politics. I support people. That's why I have people in APC I support. I have PDP. I have APP. I have different people. I just support them. And I support my uncle. And so, you know, people feel like entertainers should not be part of politics. But hey, come on. We should use our voice for the right cause and push for the change we believe in, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, this lawyer called him out for selling his soul. Those were the exact words he used, that Davido sold his soul and was being paid to do these kind of things. You know, and then he lashed back at her and body shamed her, which of course was wrong. Body shamed her and called her all sort of names. But then later on, we started finding out that her boyfriend is a staff. Is Davido's staff. Yeah. DMW. So he stated after that, why should Davido call out his girlfriend, that Davido, and he ran up his statement by saying Davido should pay him his 3.5 million naira. And so people went after Davido, people went after him for body shaming her. But the big thing about this young man was that he put out a statement to apologize. And he said, according to him, that look, I know these people. They could have come to me to make up their case, but they didn't. They went out to social media. I was angry and lashed out, and that was the only thing I could do back.
And he did say,
he said,
at some point he said that he said he was sorry. He said that he respects women, and that anyone who knows him knows that he holds women in high esteem.
I mean, he just released a video, Superwoman. He does respect women. You know,
that's what he said.
Guys, what do you guys think? It's still the same thing, bringing out stuff to social media. Did they have to come out after him on social media, considering that they are his close associates? He said, I know them. I know the lady. I know the guy.
So right now, they're being talked about. And everybody wants that little 5 minutes of fame. Now, everybody knows their name. Everybody knows their handle. You know, it's just a quick way to, you know, get public. That's my opinion.
I mean, I'm telling you that in the first day, she had over 15,000 followers extra.
Exactly.
The lawyer.
It's a quick way to get public.
15,000 more followers.
Yeah. Okay, so
but it's very likely they will no longer be working
about this. First, you said they are close associates. Now you're owing your close associates 3.5 million naira. You didn't pay up. He had to go on social media to rant about it.
He didn't did it now.
Wait. Two, he said that he called out the lady, said quite a number of things that made it sound like they were really, really familiar. Because you don't talk about the fact that someone is going out with someone, blah, 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 unless you know that person personally. So that was the first hint that they knew each
obviously,
other.
yeah, it was,
so she comes and says, I don't know you. She said
Wow.
she does not know him. So all of this, when you think of all of them together, you realize that it's very likely, as you said, a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And she got her 15,000.
Not just that. If you're talking about Davido, if you see
it wasn't
Davido's
publicity.
crew,
Forget all this
with
thing
the
at the
boyfriend,
top.
as
Publicity
they
cup.
say,
It wasn't publicity.
Anyway, so he apologized and moved on. I guess.
Moved on. Great guy, Davido.
But social media is
So
having
his apology makes him a great guy.
Titi, you're saying?
You think it's easy
Yeah,
to
so
apologize?
social media
It's easy
is
to
not
apologize.
just
Let's move
for
on,
storing
Titi.
images anymore.
The
think
final
we-
story we have
use
today.
as a-
I
The
think
final
we'll move
story we
on
have
to it,
today
yeah.
is still on social media. This one is personal to Titi. Of
Wow.
course, we've had Osasa Jibade in the house at one time. She has been called out on social media by her husband, Gbenro Ajibade. And social media has gone after Gbenro. He's been called a weak man. He's been called a weakling. He's been called low life,
names,
all
yeah.
sort of names for calling out his wife for neglecting their child.
Okay, so
That's the story.
My first question is, what exactly do you constitute as neglect? That
no,
child looks amazing. That child always looks great. She puts amazing pictures of that child. That child is being well fed, well looked after. She has nannies and carers around. She has a job to do, right? So my issue now is he not being in the country most of the time, yeah? If you want a child to be well looked after, you need a two-parent home, not she's basically acting like a single mom right now because she's working and looking after the child basically
Okay,
on
so
her
you
own.
don't think he's
I
calling
don't
her
think he
out?
should call her out for neglect.
Okay,
I
Nomi, what
think
do you
it's
think
more
about
of an insecurity issue.
I'm inclined to go in Titi's direction.
Okay.
Primarily because as a father, you're not around, right? And you're not around for most of the year. So in 365 days, you're probably around for 10 days. So that's a big deal for a child. And if a woman is then forced to live like a single mom for most of the year, then it's a big problem. And then you as a father don't really have the right.
Yeah.
You do have the right to talk about how your child is being treated
Yeah.
if for any reason you're away.
Yeah.
You have a right, but then it's a private thing. You
I
shouldn't then
think
go on social
that's
media.
it.
and
Mary,
then,
Mary,
put
very
it out.
fast.
The question, as Titi and Yomi have said, is what defines neglect? His idea of neglect might not be what we call neglect. So if light isn't shed on this, I don't want to say much.
This
on it,
will
because
like
one
story.
thing about
Okay,
couples,
Mary, all right.
you
Okay.
can never know everything.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So my point is, no matter what happens, there are issues with couples. The issue is bringing it out to the public
Keep
space.
your business
That's the major
personal.
problem.
Yes.
Still talking about couples. Finally, just have to round this up. Bounce and Yegede, Yvonne Jegede. Now they've been separated since last year. We know that for sure. So what happened was that she officially took his name, the surname of her Instagram handle, which of course fuels the rumors that of course they have broken, they had left and all of that. And the main issue being here from sources from a bounce's camp is that the child is not his. He was not there for the dedication. He has not posted anything about the child. The point is bringing out your stuff online, eh? That's all the point.
It's
Social
crazy.
media. It's crazy,
Once you begin to do it, once you start,
Kind
you never know.
Stop.
You never
It's
know
so
how.
difficult to stop.
It will just take on a life of its own.
Yes.
You know, and
Okay.
that's what
And it
happens.
gets
We have to wrap up now.
All
We
right,
have to wrap up now.
good.